Hello and welcome to the halftime report here on Bear Football, part of the Barroom Network. John Buffone alongside Aldo Gandia and Tyler Ellis. The Bears, giving it their best effort, currently trail the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 35-3, on pace to lose 70-6. Gentlemen, I think we have to laugh so we don't cry, because that was the most uninspired half of football that felt like it was 9 games in one half. It just felt like that half would not end. We were put out of our misery finally when the clock hit 0-0 in the second quarter. There's really not much to analyze here other than they're getting their asses kicked and humiliated. But Aldo, I'll throw it to you first. Initial reaction from this half.
Well, this is a team in total disarray. They had COVID problems all week, so they didn't know who was going to be on the roster, who's going to be available on Sunday. They've had, the humiliation of the Green Bay game and having to face questions about Aaron Rodgers owning you and so forth. And so they probably didn't have a good week of preparation, and they certainly didn't have an offensive scheme to stop the Tampa Bay Bucks a pass rush, and so that's obviously affected the play of Justin Fields. He has, because of that pass rush, he's committed some errors, and because of he's a rookie, he's committed some errors. So he's not had a very good game on the road here at Tampa Bay, but I think the same could be said for the entire team.
Gaines, what you got?
I went to church today. I went to church today, and I pray for everybody on the network. I pray for all of Bears Nation. Okay, and so all I can say is that there are better days ahead. Okay, instant reaction. It's Matt Nagy versus an efficient championship football team, and I wanted to see how we stacked up. Normally, John, I would say I'm going to reserve judgment until the game is over because anything's possible. But what are we going to do? We're going to see a bunch of check downs.
Yeah,
we're looking at total opposites. Tom Brady has all data total football. Justin Field is not. Justin Field is going through rookie growing pains as expected. But at the same time, we have to be transparent as possible that we are completely outclassed, outmatched in every aspect of this football game. I mean, this is what it looks like when you have a team, a complete cohesive unit that does not play down to the minimums. When we glorify the moral victories, that of the Chicago Bears, and we come against a team that does not, this is what we see. And so for Matt Nagy, with all due respect, sir, I mean, this is hopefully Ryan Pace is watching. Sometimes it's these games identify what you really have. We can have all the nice, cute moral victories, but I want to be a championship. I want the Chicago Bears to win a championship. John, I know you want that. Aldo, I know you want that. And sometimes you have to appreciate the bad to go through the good, to get to the good. And I'm glad that Tom Brady, the oldest man ever to play NFL football, I believe, is kicking our butts, breaking records.
Tyler, how much more of the bad do we have to endure before we get the good, though? We've been enduring the bad for quite some time now. We've been building up our karma for how long now? So that being said, I said earlier in the year, there are very few matchups where I don't think the Bears are going to get outcoached, and they look incredibly underprepared. So underprepared that they had to switch out the right side of the line already because they're not giving Justin Fields. Yeah, Justin Fields is making rookie mistakes, much like we thought he was going to make whenever he got put in the game, regardless of what week it was. However, they're not doing him any favors. They're not bringing any kind of max protect. They're not trying to actually put him in a position to succeed right now. The only bright spot is Khalil Herbert, surprisingly, but it doesn't really matter because they're down by 4 scores. So they're giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers short fields to play with. They're not executing on offense. Honestly though, I'm almost trying to make myself mad, but I don't. I'm so checked out that it's just I can't even get angry because this is so pathetic that it's almost to the point where it's not worth getting angry about anymore.
Right.
Because when they play a good football team, this is what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. I've been saying this for the last couple weeks. The Bears are good enough to beat bad teams. They're okay enough to compete with other mediocre teams, but when they play a team that's worth a damn, they're going to get their ass kicked. And with this, and that it just keeps going along the same line and the same trajectory as we've seen. And so I don't think I'm gonna get overly angry about this game because this is what we expected. This is what I expected. And both shows that we did this week, I said I had a really, really bad feeling about this game. And I said that we're going to see a lot of 3-and-outs, and then Tom Brady's going to try to run up the score. And he did that already in the first half. So I'm gonna try to keep myself composed over here because this is what we're coming to expect now. Accept the fact that they can stay in it. Accept the fact that they can stay in the ball game against other mediocre teams. But when they play a team that's either playoff bound or can at least make a deep playoff run, they're going to get their asses kicked. And that's what we're seeing.
Your first point, John, you said, how much do we have to endure? How much more? That question should be for Ryan Pace. Like, bro, how much do you have to see before you and Matt Nagy have a conversation? I still don't like the fact that we don't get to hear from the GM until the offseason after the draft around that time frame, because I want to speak. I want to hear the leadership be held accountable to what the fans are trying to be happy about on the field. We are 0 for 7 on third down. I don't care who we're going against. This is football. What was the preparation? I know it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know all that stuff. What have you been preparing for? This is supposed to be offense 3.0. Yes, it's Justin Fields, but some wide receivers should be open. At some point in time, by accident, can we make a 30-yard pass? I mean, at some point, Justin Fields talked about putting together plays consistently back to back, but it just seems like nothing's open. It seems like every time he goes out there to pass the ball, it's a crapshoot to see. The last sack on 4th and 4, nobody was open. Like I didn't see anybody open. Justin Fields tried to run up too late, but it was too late. Those linebackers are too fast. So the imagination, the vision from the offensive, Bill Lazor is only picking from the plays that Matt Nagy has designed. That is my understanding. If I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me. But if
you're incorrect.
I'm incorrect. So these are Bill Lazor plays?
No, the entire staff develops the playbook. So the design of the plays in the playbook are headed by Matt Nagy, but Bill Lazor and all the offensive coaches have input.
Oh, that's even better. Fire every damn body. That's perfect. Thank you. So fire everybody. I'm trying to reserve judgment, John. We probably talk about this on Tuesday, but how much does Brian Leftwich cost? Because at this point in the game, because one key thing before we get back, I heard Bruce Arians say on Twitter, I don't step inside the offensive room. I trust Brian Leftwich with complete offense. Brian Leftwich is handling the ego of a Tom Brady and the newest rookie on the team. And they are not just being productive, but they're playing at a championship level without Gronkowski and Mike Evans was a ghost the first couple weeks of the season, guys. All of a sudden, he's coming alive.
Real quick note here is a tweet out by Jason Leisure, the beat reporter of the Sun-Times. Just a quick stat here for you. The Bears are the first team this season to give up 35 points in the first half and the first to be down by more than 25 at halftime. So as much as people may want to give an excuse that Tampa Bay is so good and they were never going to win this game, this isn't just losing to a better team. This is getting humiliated by a team. I think the context is important here. Yeah, they were big time underdogs here, and most people expected them to lose this game. But the fact that you can set, season standards by your poor play, that speaks volumes. The fact that you're giving up that many points, you're trailing by that many points, and no one else has done that thus far this year. Throw out the fact that you are an underdog. This was the most uninspired half of football, maybe outside of the Browns game that I've seen. So it's embarrassing. But like I said, I'm not screaming and yelling yet because I honestly, it's not worth my emotions right now.
John,
this team is embarrassing.
Are they going to get 50? Aldo, are they going to get 50 points on us today?
Oh, absolutely. Even with the second stringers on, you're seeing players on the sideline slumping shoulders, and nobody doing it more than some of the Bears' defensive players. They're tired that the offense is not fulfilling their part of the bargain. I mean, here are the turnovers: 3 for the Bears, 0 for Tampa Bay. Here are the first downs: 18 for Tampa Bay, 8 for the Bears. You cannot sustain a defense against a well-oiled machine like the Tampa Bay Bucks if the offense is not doing their job. And we know what the problem with the offense is. It has to do with scheme. It has to do with the fact that Ryan Pace has not put any playmakers on this team. I mean, after you get past A-Rob and Darnell Mooney, and a lot of people have lost a lot of confidence in A-Rob over the last few weeks. I still haven't. I think he's playing hurt, and that's impacting his performance, plus the rookie quarterback. But once you get past A-Rob and Darnell Mooney, you are seeing a bunch of retreads in this NFL, guys who have not had sustained success. So when Ryan Pace said at the beginning of the season that he was proud of the depth that he's put together for this Chicago Bears team, he was full of shit. He was full of shit. I hate to put it that way, but that's what he did. He's embarrassing the city of Chicago. He's lying to the fans. He's piecemealing together a team. He doesn't know how to build a team. He doesn't have a vision for building a team. He's done error after error after error, and it's time that he and Matt Nagy get the hell out of town.
I feel better now. I feel better.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Aldo, I completely agree with what Aldo is saying, and maybe I got all of my emotions out like that 1 or 2 weeks ago, where I was finally at that breaking point, and now you're just in the acceptance part of it, where you can't, I can't keep putting myself through this. So, but you're right. But where it comes down to is ownership or the McCaskey family gonna say, is this embarrassing enough for us to go? How many times do you have to be embarrassed on national TV? Is this enough? Or is it going to take another embarrassing loss? Is it going to take another embarrassing loss? So you know what? We need to give Matt and Ryan one more year because they're hell of a guy. And look what they did to Hallis Hall and the culture. If I hear it, and I can't wait. I didn't eat today, so I can just chug down this bowl of word soup that Matt Nagy's going to serve everybody at the end of this. And you know what? Remember when they won, he had to keep reminding everybody that he was the head coach? Let's see how many times he reminds people that he's the head coach today. I bet he doesn't say it one damn time.
Fred, you're right. I'll have more to say at the end of the game, but I know John and Tyler will too. I mean, it's sad. We put so much into our fandom, and we're not getting back what we put into this. And this has nothing to do with podcasting. This has nothing to do with writing websites. None of that stuff. It's about being a fan. It's about purchasing products. It's about reading about the Bears all week. It's about having years and years of loyalty to this team, and they not returning anything back to us. This is the frustration that we're facing, and they sit there quietly on their hands just collecting money.
All right, we'll be back as soon as the game hits triple zeros in the fourth quarter. Second half is underway. We'll be back with you right after the game. For Aldo Gandia and Tyler Ellis, I'm John Buffone. Enjoy the second half, everybody.